say hands, you say up. Hands, hands, hands. One more time. When I say hands, you say hands, hands, hands. Oh yeah.
Albuquerque, I gotta tell you, I have never been prouder of my hometown than I am right now. I have never been prouder to be part of this community. I have never been prouder by the energy, by the passion, by the commitment to justice and equality and dignity and decency in our government. Give yourselves a hand. Raise up your fist. Now, it's true we've been a little bit busy at the New Mexico Department of Justice. We've sued the Trump administration 9 times. But there is one of those that I am particularly proud of. I don't know if you know this, but New Mexico was the first state in the country to sue Elon Musk and go. And I want you to know just how important this is, to see you here, to be present with you, because you are part of something not just across the country today. You are part of a legacy in America that reaches back to our founding, a legacy of the people standing together, standing up for what they believe in, coming together to fight for their principles, to fight for justice. And your work, your passion, your energy connects you to everyone who has come before. Progress in this country has never been a straight line. And we are wrong when we think that elected officials are the drivers of change in this country. They aren't. From Stonewall to Selma to the suffragist movement, to the abolitionist movement, the power of the people to change America. That's what makes America great. And so in recognition of that history, I would remind you what Frederick Douglass said right before the Civil War. He said, "See what a people would submit to quietly, and you will have the exact measure of injustice." Well, Albuquerque is speaking today, and we will not tolerate injustice in this country. You need to figure out how to grow and build this movement. You need to work each and every day to lift yourself up and lift those up around you with your principles and your voice and your commitment. That's your calling. This is still America. This is a land and a government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Hello, Albuquerque! Welcome! Yate Shade, Shakado Shidane, Sasheen Smith Yinshe, Adone Nishlinigi, Sanjakin Nishlia, Shihim Bashashin, Hush Glishni, Ada Shache, Ado Howan Slene, Ada Shanale. My name is Sasheen Smith. As we begin this event, we acknowledge our original inhabitants of this area. New Mexico is beautifully unique and flourishing with diverse cultures. New Mexico has 23 tribes, which includes 19 Pueblos, 3 Apache tribes, and the Navajo Nation. Please take a moment. Please take a moment and honor these ancestral grounds and celebrate the resilience and strength that all indigenous people have demonstrated through the years. We pay our respects to our elders, past and present, as we continue to learn from their immense knowledge. We also acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced occupation of our lands. We recognize that this land was seized through colonization. We, Indigenous, continue to face systemic oppression and marginalization in every aspect. Now's the time to fight back the Trump-Musk oligarchy. Blind and a lesbian woman, I have a voice. Our tribal communities are under attack. Trump's administration is not honoring the federal trust responsibility. Continued broken promises. Did you know right now there's only one staff working at Albuquerque Indian Health Services for our referrals? It's awful. Things are persistently getting worse, and we were not receiving adequate health care to begin with. A lot of the Navajo Nation still doesn't have running water. Now our health care and education for our kids are being jeopardized because of all the mass firings of the federal workers. Our sacred lands are under attack. Our Navajo code talkers were disrespected by the Trump administration. Hands off our tribal lands and communities. Trump's DEI undoing undermine hard-won accommodations for our disabled. The ADA is under attack. We need to do better. Disabled need job opportunities. It shouldn't take months and years to obtain a job. I'm unemployed and looking. People need to see the disabled person's talents and strengths versus our white cane and wheelchairs. It doesn't define us as a human. Parents shouldn't have to wait 10 years to get their DD waiver for their child. Our voices, we need more disability visibility. I have tons of personal stories about my barriers with programs, employment, education, transportation, everyday life. We need to do better. Hands off the ADA. Hands off special education. I'm here today for our elders. We need a voice for our elders, and disabled need Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. We need to do better for our elders. I'm here today to be a voice for our murdered, missing Indigenous relatives. Hands off Native land.
What did you do? Where were you? Did you stand up? You will say, I was here. I stood up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am Stephanie Garcia Richard. It has been the privilege of my lifetime to be your Public Lands Commissioner for the last 6 years. And we have done amazing things with your public resources. We fund our schools, our universities, our hospitals. But sometimes there are landscapes in New Mexico that are just too sacred to destroy. So when those greedy bastards come for our Pecos River, we say hands, hands. When they come for our Caja del Rio and the gorgeous south of Santa Fe County, we say hands, hands. When Trump wants to hold a rally on your public lands, we say hands, hands. You cannot take our public lands. If you come for our public lands, we will stand strong and we will fight back. I am so excited to see you here today. This crowd is phenomenal. But if I could ask you one thing, it would be to help grow this movement. Maybe they don't think it matters. Maybe they're scared. And they should be scared. They have a right to be scared. But I want to encourage you today to think of that one person in your mind who is not standing up, who is not fighting back. I want you to go to that person and have them join this movement. And finally, you have heard a lot about upcoming elections. We've got a municipal election in November. We've got our statewide elections next year. When candidates come before you to ask, they want to represent you, I want you to look them in the eye and say, what did you do? Did you stand with us? Now more than ever, with everything threatening New Mexico from Washington, we need people to stand up. New Mexico, I love you. I'm Stephanie Garcia Richard, your Public Lands Commissioner.
What energy! Oh my God!
Sometimes I feel like a small child who smells smoke, runs to tell the adults about the danger, and gets ignored. At times I wonder if there are any adults in the White House right now. Blinded by an ideology of willful ignorance, they've erased all mention of climate change from every federal website and cut funding to some of the very agencies that are researching and reporting on the climate crisis. The oil and gas industry has spent millions of dollars to suppress research, spread disinformation, buy off legislators, and influence legislation successfully enough to prolong our dependence on fossil fuels. And as you know, that keeps carbon dioxide accumulating in the atmosphere. Are you happy with that? Well, let's do something about it. Their influence is felt here in New Mexico, our beautiful land of enchantment. Our beloved balloon fiesta has been renamed the ExxonMobil Balloon Fiesta. That's right. Let me tell you something. ExxonMobil scientists did research on the effects of carbon dioxide back in the 70s and 80s, and they kept it secret. They knew their product was already causing climate change way back then. The architects of planetary destruction are now the brand of our wonderful ballooning event. Are you happy with that? Well, then let's do something about it. I say the balloon fiesta belongs to all of us, not just to corporations with no social conscience. They spend millions in TV ads telling us what wonderful, caring people they are, keeping us cozy and warm. Well, let me tell you, the biosphere is not cozy. It's overheating, and biodiversity everywhere is suffering. There's a word for the lies that they're spewing. It's called greenwashing. I call bullshit on them. Bullshit. Let's do something about it. When we ask you to do something about it, bullshit, bullshit. That's right. Ask you to do something about it. Will you come? The climate crisis is now and right here in the land of enchantment. Witness the recent sandstorms threatening the electrical grid and transportation network, and the fires and floods that get worse every year. It's cause and effect. Burn more fossil fuels and you expect more infrastructure disruption. These are not isolated weather events. The drought in the Southwest has gotten progressively worse, and worldwide, Earth's 10 hottest years occurred this past decade. Are you content with that? Well, let's do something about it.
Good afternoon, Albuquerque. I bring you greetings of solidarity. This is definitely what solidarity in Albuquerque looks like. I was asked to talk about some of the things that we did in the state legislature to Trump-proof New Mexico. And I guarantee you that during those 60 days that we were in the basement, we were doing some very good work. We want to be able to protect ourselves against the cuts that Trump continues to threaten. SB 1 created a behavioral trust fund with the goal of reaching $1 billion. That money will be used to rebuild our behavioral health infrastructure that was destroyed under the Susana Martinez administration. We also gave in our capital outlay $80 million to the city of Albuquerque and the county of Bernalillo to create affordable housing and to address the needs of the unhoused. We also did some very good work with regard to immigration. Some of our bills passed, unfortunately, but some of them did not. One of the bills that's sitting on the governor's desk right now is Senate Bill 36, which prohibits state employees from disclosing personal information about individuals for the purposes of enforcing immigration law. At the state level, we continue to say, hands off immigration. We're going to protect our immigrant community. House Bill 64, another bill that's awaiting the governor's signature, allows immigrants who have lived in New Mexico for 2 years and have filed their income tax returns or have attended adult basic education to also further their education by being able to access financial aid and to be able to pay in-state tuition. I want to say that that bill is a job creator, and it will help fill many of the unfilled positions in occupations like childcare and healthcare and skilled trades that we so desperately need.
All right, guys. You know that this is the issue that unites us all. So I'm going to ask everybody to take 4 steps in and let's get united. Come on in. And while you do that, I'm going to point out my young son, Rafa Obando here, and he's holding up our action phone number. So if you leave here today wanting to get involved with protecting our climate, you're going to text us action at that phone number, and we're going to leave it up here. Planet Earth has a message for us, and it's coming at us in the form of fierce fires, followed by devastating floods, taking away our multi-generational families. We're experiencing extreme heat, drought that we haven't seen in 1,000 years. We're pumping the legacy of our Earth out of its depths, and we're combusting it into the atmosphere to create global climate change. And that can be scary, and it can make you feel paralyzed. But pause for a minute. Look up. Feel the sun on your face. Feel the wind on your skin. Connect with the ground, the power of this land where we reside together. Grab the hand of someone you love or somebody you've just met. This is renewable energy. This is our power. It's the sun, it's the wind, it's the land, and it's love. We have to tend to that energy, and we do that because we're diverse, because we're inclusive, because we're learning how to be equitable, because we're an ecosystem. We can't do without each other. We are interconnected. We can't be silenced, but we also can't silence ourselves. We're gonna say the words that others have the instructions not to say. We're gonna say climate crisis, you say it. We're gonna say global warming. We're gonna say black. We're gonna say brown. We're gonna say women. We're gonna say queer. Because we're all in this together. We're gonna protect our people, and we're gonna protect our places. We're gonna stand against profit over protection. We're gonna stop pollution so that we can all thrive together. And you might be thinking, I'm here today, but I don't know what to do tomorrow. I feel scared. I feel angry. We're not gonna let that paralysis stand. We're gonna let it power our action. So you're gonna text me, action, and we're gonna follow up with you about how you can get involved. You're gonna come to Balloon Fiesta Park on the 13th, next Sunday from 10 to 4, and we're gonna help you get involved. You're gonna write that letter to the editor. You are gonna take that march. You are going to vote. You're gonna come up to the Roundhouse with Amanda and her students. Because those are the teachers who are teaching our kids what is required to live and to go forward together. Okay, so we're gonna leave here today ready for action because we're gonna do it together and we are not going to be divided. All right, one last word from the future. Rafa, you're 8 years old. What do you want to see for the future?
Well, I would just like to say two things. And the first thing is, nobody has mentioned Kamala Harris. And I hope for Trump and Elon to be gone and for the planet to be in peace.
All right, I say planet, you say peace. Planet, peace, planet, peace, planet, peace.
Yeah, okay, hey, I'm Ken. I've given some of my time to Nix and Luke here from the Bosque School. So I think we need to hear what they should say. I've been a climate scientist for 30 years. Climate change is real. The consensus of scientists is that we're making changes, cuts to things like the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. Many of my colleagues, they're facing cuts, and these are some of the most critical data sets in the world for monitoring climate. And rather than face that, they're opposing it and they're making big cuts to NOAA, and we have to fight that. On the local level, I just want to say the Clear Horizons and Greenhouse Gas Emissions Act, which was introduced in the legislature this year, didn't make it to the floor for a vote. There was some opposition from Democrats, as a matter of fact. So in a couple of years, we need to support that legislation and get it through and show them that New Mexico's not going to go along with these shenanigans, and we are going to resist greenhouse gas emissions and fight climate change. Okay, now that's my minute and a half, hopefully. And now I want to introduce Mix and Luke from Boston.
We are young, we are angry, and this is our message. We are full of potential, love, hope, and ideas. Yet we might as well die before we can fight your worthless wars because the future you are stealing from us. Your pockets and ego are not worth more than the weight of the world, the changing climate, the ocean becoming too acidic for the lobster and oysters you eat. Yet your greed continues to consume and kill for the sake of your insanity and gluttony. The truth of science is more important than your lies and manipulation. Hands off! There should never be a single billionaire for as long as a single person is cold or hungry or thirsty. They cheat and lie and steal and have the audacity to call hardworking American people their vast range of ideas, cultures, and talents that this nation is built on parasites and aliens. Hands off! A felon and a rat, you nasty old men are out of your minds, well past your primes. No one elected you racist, fascist, rapist, stealing, cheating, lying, monsters. You aliens, you criminals, you parasites. You line your pockets with the blood of the true hard-working Americans and destroy millions of human lives, all while spreading hate and spewing garbage about making America great. Go pay taxes like a contributing member of society, you losers, and keep your dirty old musty dusty hands off the government and this nation that you clearly don't know how to lead. We, the people, the youth, the future, and the present must learn from the past and unite against fascism. Take action before it's too late. It's not left versus right. It's up versus down. Hands off!
Nobody wants an American king. Nobody voted for that damn thing. Nobody wants an American king. Nobody voted for any such thing. Nobody wants a dictatorship. Everybody is super pissed, mad as hell, raising our fist. Nobody ever voted for this. Nobody voted for Elon Musk. He is not the boss of us. Everybody knows power corrupts. Nobody wants President Musk. Nobody voted for theocracy. Nobody voted for one religion. Nobody voted for tyranny. Nobody voted for a church. Nobody wants a fascist state. Fascism never made anybody great. Nobody voted for a police state. Americans are not afraid.